And we're live. This looks like it needs to be up a little higher, doesn't it?
It
or
does.
Is that okay?
No, it needs to be. Or tilt the screen a little.
Okay, let's do that.
There we go.
There we
go. You know, that's
a
very innovative way of doing things. Would you like a couple cushions?
Oh, let me grab one.
It's nice to be able to tilt your back.
No, so too far forward.
You can get views.
Okay. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. You don't want this up a little bit? You think you're okay?
You can.
I feel like we usually have it up a little bit.
Well, the funny thing is,
or
you don't think it's no, you're not in the screen.
No, I'm just trying to.
You know, see, that's how we do it still.
That's good.
We do it.
That is good. Okay. Oh,
we are live. We are. What's this? 2 people? Is that me and you? Is that how it works? Me and you.
There's a bright light. Oh, you have that light on.
Oh, you want me to turn that off?
Oh, it's so bright. Yeah. Maybe you can turn it down a little bit because I feel like it's giving this big glare right here over my shoulder.
Glare. Okay, tell me when you're not seeing.
Okay. Keep going. Yeah, like just turn it right down.
Just turn it off.
Yeah. You don't even need it. All it does is give this weird glow.
Does it reflect the halo that's around my head?
Well, this pot light above the head is just fine.
It's just fine? You know that halo. The halo that I get because I'm such a halo type of person that, you know, I get that.
I'm here. Perfect lighting now, says Mr. Gary McIntosh.
Perfect lighting. I just tilted that. Well, I tilted it and then I sort of got the little glow light happening there. Just kind of get myself in the frame. Gary, what do you think of the light up above? Is that
just do this? Just take it.
Tilt it back.
Yeah.
Wow, you are a telegenius. Where did you get your smarts from?
Just take it out of the frame.
Really? The College of Go Broke?
Yeah.
What's going on, people?
Okay. Share the live, Gary. Let's get a few people here so that we can have a meaningful discussion.
Discussion.
It's been a while, so our regular crew.
It's been a while.
Does not know we're here. It was perfect just before you tilted the camera.
Well, how is it now? I'm sure it's perfect
now.
all
good. It's all good. Thank you. Tell him again. That. Don't touch my directions.
I wasn't really touching your direction.
Okay, let me share this out a little bit.
Share the live.
You shared the live out, Nino?
I'm trying to share the live out, darling.
We are here trying to get into a meaningful discussion with 1, 2, 3, however many people decide to jump in.
Meaningful discussion? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
On this dreary looking Sunday afternoon as the sun is setting. We have a really nice view through this window. Gary says, I'm sharing the link to this live. Well, thank you very much. We need all the shares we can get.
We need all the share we can get. I tell you.
Oh, I keep watching this. Sometimes, who do we got here? Nino, hello.
What's popping?
Who's that? I
Nino
can't
and
see.
Back with Low.
Pardon my blind eyes.
What happened to your glasses? Oh, you're wearing them.
Oh, that's Coach Mean. Oh,
what's going on, Coach?
Well, go on, Coach.
Right, Coach, our little island paradise kind of got a little a box and a backend to follow. It's a little disheartening.
Actually, all of us here that are on the live at this very moment are all have roots in Jamaica.
I'm glad you say have roots in Jamaica.
Why?
Because you're a Jaffa.
Whatever.
So
I can't remember if Coach Mean was born there. I think her parents were, but she says she's so saddened.
Yeah, yes. It is heartbreaking. And I don't want to think too much about it, guys. I kind of I'm kind of trying to process it in small pieces, bit-sized pieces, because it's a lot. It's a lot, and I can just only imagine the people who are in Jamaica right now, their mental state.
Well, we're gonna jump into all that deliciousness. Coach Mean is saying that she wants to send barrels. And I know a lot of us here are feeling helpless. We either want to send barrels, send money, send zinc, send everything.
Yeah.
But you got to think about this and do it in a very smart way that it gets to the people in need. So here we are. After our long absence, yes, we have been absent for a little while. You know how it goes sometimes in these YouTube streets. You got to take a little break for whatever reason. You take your breaks. And it just is what it is. Life be lifing, as they say.
Life be lifing.
And, when you're ready, you come back. And any of you that are here that are content creators, such as Mean Reen knows, it takes a lot to get this content out consistently. And sometimes you just get like brain drain and you need to kind of reset and regroup. So here we are after our reset and regroup, and we're about to tackle this devastating hurricane. And Mean Reen says it's too much, but Jamaica will rise again. And that much we know for sure.
Very, very resilient people.
That much we know for sure.
Very resilient, and they will definitely rise again. The people, the culture, the everything that we had there prior to Melissa stopping by.
And I mean, all of us that are on the, that aren't there, that are, whether we're in America, Canada, the UK, wherever we are in the world, that we have family or ties to Jamaica, and wondering, what can we do? What can we do? Now, the thing is, there is an official government website that the Prime Minister of Jamaica has put up, that there's a link, and they're asking that you send whatever you can to donate to this official link. Me personally, I haven't sent anything to that official link. I'm more of a hands-on. I've been watching a lot of content creators, whether it be on TikTok or here on YouTube, that are actually going in.
They have boots on the ground.
They're not waiting for any kind of government organization. They're just in there. There's Colas Smith. My favorite YouTuber in the world, Andre Stevens, has been doing his thing. Andre Stevens has been there gathering supply. They all have. There's another young man, his name escapes me at the moment. There is J Progress that is in UK. There are so many people, small YouTubers, big YouTubers, that are getting their foreign donations together, and they're getting things, supplies right from the island. Now, right now, I think now that we're about 2 weeks, two weeks in, it's a little bit easier to get stuff to the island. But these YouTubers that live there on the island,
they're pretty active. And I think from our perspective, it's we would love to get immediately involved with the process as it be in Jamaica. However, I just think it would be best served if we just kind of hang tight for a minute and allow the people there to do their thing, as well as the larger organizations, the Blue Cross and the Global Medics and so on of the world, to go ahead and do their thing. And once the dust is settled, we can go in and actively address those concerns with a lot of the local people. Because going in there, if everyone's going to be just crowding in and going in there all at once, it's going to be quite chaotic.
And I mean, the major airlines here in Canada, anyways, are not sending cargo to Jamaica at this time. And that's because they cannot warehouse the supplies once they get there, because the airport is devastated. They can't guarantee the safety, I guess, of your goods once they get there, because they can't warehouse them.
You're kind of lining up yourself for lawsuits or things going missing. So what they've done is in working with several larger groups, once the cargo gets in there, they're then removed from the aircraft right onto trucks and moved out. There's no need for warehousing items at the airport. So
now we've Nino has gone and put in a couple hours with an organization that, if you're here in Toronto, there's an organization, and eventually I will put the link in the chat. But the organization is called Global Medic, and that's run by a group of local Canadians, and their disaster preparedness. They respond to disasters all over the world. So they've taken Jamaica on. So if you're here in Toronto, you can volunteer by going to their warehouse. Website. You can help sorting out some of the goods that are coming in, the donated canned goods or clothes. You can even be dispatched out there. You can volunteer your time if you don't have to be a medical personnel in order to be dispatched with them, but it helps.
So I just wanted to add that in order for you to be deployed to a lot of these areas, you have to be in the volunteer stream, as well as there's several training courses that Global Medics have produced that you will attend certain classes, and of course they'll do the vetting and the briefing and so on, and see where your speciality lies and how best you can serve the organization in terms of providing humanitarian needs to anywhere around the world where there's disasters. And Lorna's just mentioned that Global Medic, they were one of the first Canadian group on the ground during Melissa, as well as Beryl. So they're quite active.
And they're very familiar with getting things done immediately: food, water, shelter,
water purification. They provide a lot of different services, and so it's been quite difficult in getting stuff down there, again, because of the lack of warehouse space.
What do we have there? That's Readybo number 1. Okay, hi, welcome. So there's a lot of willingness on the part of us on this side, whether, like I said, no matter where you are outside of Jamaica, there's a lot of people that are willing to donate. They want to donate, but there's also a lot of what I'm seeing. I don't want to say scamming, because I have no proof of that. Just a lot of, I don't know, mix up. Like, look at all this business with Buju Banton and his plane that went down, and then goods are missing, and then government officials are defending their point, and then Buju's defending his point. And it's just a lot of back and forth when these people are starving and they need the help right this second.
And them not getting the help right away is quite a crisis as well. And one of the things that we have to look at is the lack of help getting to people. It's going to create I don't want to say it, but I'm going to have to say it, a sense of criminality later on, because desperate measures or desperate times require desperate measures. And people are going to start actively go out there searching for basic things like
it's already
food.
Started.
Okay,
it's already started.
That is not readily available, and that's one of the things that we certainly have to bear in mind, that the longer it takes for the help to get to the people that are in need, the more desperate they become.
That's right.
So
and I've seen, a few videos. I've seen some of these bloggers that are right there in the aftermath talking about it. Like, you see the first time that Cola Smith brought his van with the relief supplies up to Westmoreland, and the people just attacked the truck, because they were hungry. and the backlash of all the people that were watching that, saying how these people don't have any manners, they weren't lining up. But if you are desperate for food,
you have to think about your situation and you being desperate, and not only you, but you have to think of there probably young children that are involved. There are seniors and elderlies that are involved that have no source of food, and seeing someone come by with a truck full of food is. People are going to react anyway. Don't tell them to line up, because that's not going to happen.
Now, we have to acknowledge Juicing from Jay is
What's
here.
Going on,
Jay?
Juice?
Bless up to Jay. And
Fiona, big up yourself,
Fiona.
Big up yourself,
Fiona. This topic of relief is forefront
and
on our mind right now.
I'll tell you, Fiona is one of those people that I've spoke to a few times, and I'll tell you, Fiona's got her barrels packed, her crates, her bags, even our little, what you call it, no frill bag. She have everything packed.
Well, didn't the government of Jamaica say that they are forgoing, what is it?
Yes, all the customs and the duty that will apply to any goods that is being imported. The government of Jamaica, initially they had it going until the end of November, where they're giving full allowance and no charges will be levied against you for importing these goods. They've extended that to the 31st of December.
Oh, okay. That's a second extension.
Yes, that's the extension to the 31st of December.
Very good.
And there's also talks that if the need continues, that extension may even extend beyond.
Very good.
So right now we're just
now here in Toronto, though, you have to go to like a private company to ship.
Yeah, I think right now a lot of things are going in by sea. And you can only imagine things going in by sea is taking 2 to 3 months to get there. It's not a quick fix.
So barrels that are going now are taking 2 or 3 months?
Yes, because if they're going by sea, that's the length of time it will take.
So barrels can't go to Kingston?
They can go into Kingston, but very limited.
If you want your stuff to reach, I don't know how you're going to do that.
It's very limited. The movement into Kingston right now with the Canadian carriers is somewhat limited. And it's strictly being monitored and controlled through, like I said, companies like Global Medic, Red Cross, as well as Lifeline.
Right. So that's what we're saying. Like right now in the immediacy, I know we all have our little care packages ready to go to our direct relatives and friends, but right now it's so difficult to get these things to specific communities.
It's a lot easier for people in the US to get the movement. Now I'm also aware of a Air Canada in particular. I think they have put place a provision whereas if you have a ticket book on an Air Canada flight and you are allotted 1 or 2 baggage based on that flight, they will give you an additional 2 suitcases that you can travel with at no additional costs. But what you have to do is you have to go on the Air Canada website, and there's a link there that will net you into the baggage stream, and you have to give them 48-hour notice prior to departure.
And then you get to bring an extra bag on the suitcase. You get to
bring 2 extra suitcases.
Okay. Well, that's good information.
With no extra charge. I don't know how long that's going to run for, but that is the measure that's in place right now to fulfill those needs going into Jamaica.
But like I said, there's certain YouTubers, TikTokers that are there now, boots on the ground,
no
going
doubt.
into certain communities that, they're accepting donations directly to themselves. And these people have big platforms. I mean, I watch them all the time. You can't swear for everybody, but from what I can see, what they're doing, they are doing the good work.
There's some people that are doing amazing.
They're doing amazing work without the help of anybody except their own teams that they've assembled and based on their platforms and their good names. Like I said, Andre Stevens, Cola Smith, J Progress, all the big stars, the Bujus, the Shaggies, they're all doing their parts. And as well as Global Medic, which is a Toronto-based organization that is getting shipments down. So if you want to get stuff...
I also know that the Jamaican Canadian Association in Toronto and various other organizations, as they're in a mode right now where they're collecting non-perishables and canned goods in order to funnel these things, as well as care packages for family, daily needs.
Because if you think about it, they're about to hit what? They're at 2 weeks. So think about now, diseases setting in. All the animals. I mean, they've tried their best to get to be getting up the bodies of the people that are unalive during this thing, So I was reading that some of the people way up in the deeper part of the hills, they had to even bury some of their own deceased.
And not only that too, but we have to bear in mind that this is no longer a rescue mission. It's a recovery.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if people unfortunately have been isolated for 2 weeks and they're literally surviving on nothing, it has become quite a crisis. And at this point, we need to.
Can you imagine the mosquitoes?
A lot of settling waters,
dengue fevers coming. These people don't have masks out there. They don't have anything really. I would love to see, as a medical professional, I would love to see them put up the big tents. I know that there's a few that they're putting up the big tents to use as kind of like a MASH hospital that you would see, in like time of war or something, like a field hospital.
Yeah. I think a few of them have set up. Like I recall seeing something where the Black River Hospital, they have something on site.
It's already done.
That is a field hospital. And kudos goes out to the to Adam Stewart and the Sandals Group. My understanding, I was having a conversation with someone this morning that there are some of their staff members that have had their house decimated. They have provided housing for them
very good.
At the hotel. So kudos to Adam and the Sandals Group for doing that and for providing housing for its employees and for various other people that are in need, because there's no one in the hotels right now.
Right.
So they're using that to kind of house people and help them out.
I mean, I think of course, you're not going to have the hotels full of visiting tourists right now. I think a lot of those hotels should open up their doors.
Sadly enough, a lot of them aren't.
Even if the government pays them a rate.
They're really thinking about revenue. And I heard one particular hotel, I don't want to say who they are, that are slated to open in and around the 6th of December to start bringing in tourists for the tourist season. Now you have other groups out there that have sustained so much damage, like the what do you call it now? The Grand Bahia group. They have sustained so much damage to their property out in, I believe it's in St. Anne somewhere, that they're not even slated to be reopened until December of 2026.
Wow.
So, that's a far cry, but feeling, a lot of the smaller hotels, especially in the Negril region, that are family owned and, smaller outfit that sustain a lot of damage. I mean, there's no way for them to get those things up and running.
I would think that they're going to be in need of a lot of medical personnel, especially now that search and rescue is basically the first phase. I think that part of the phase is over because there's no more rescue that's going to happen now.
There's no rescue.
If you're trapped and you haven't been rescued by now, unfortunately, I think that's your demise. But now there must be a lot of people, a lot of elderly babies, that are in need of medical care. I would love to see our Canadian government help to, dispatch any medical professional that wants to go over, that they will pay your expenses and send you over there. And, people can go and spend a month or so.
With the,
who do we got? Fiona says, persons are not clear on the customs fee exemptions. The exemption only applies to custom fees and GCT. All other fees still apply.
Still stands.
Hear that? Miss Fiona says the exemption only applies to the custom fees and the GCT. All the other fees still apply.
What she's referring to is each time you go into a port, there's what's called a station fee. So it looks like they haven't waived the station fee. It's only fees that apply to import customs items, as well as I would imagine the GCT would be the local tax.
Okay. And Fiona says there is a few hospitals already up and running. Well, that's good to
excellent.
hear.
That's good news.
Black River and
awesome.
Falmouth, because I
Falmouth
know
is up
that
running.
I saw the Black River Hospital that really got
Well, she's
sustained
also
a lot of
stating here that the
damage.
Moon Palace is currently accepting tourists. Wow.
Oh,
That's
she got a memo today.
That's tourists. And again, Moon Palace is located on the eastern side of the island, out in Ocho Rios. So they were probably spared in terms of not sufficient damage to, you know, they can and that's great. Kudos to them, because what the country needs right now is to start bringing in tourists and start generating some income, and more importantly, start providing jobs for those people that are out there that are unemployed. True. And that's going to really,
because the tourist machine, they still do need the tourist. And from what I can see, half the island looks like it's business as usual, right?
I think the eastern side is.
It looks like it's business as usual.
I recall there was a lady on social media that that made mention the day after, maybe could have been as much as 2 days after the Melissa touchdown in Jamaica, and she was showing her home, which was completely
her garden.
Well, her home at first was unscathed. Her garden was just pristine. And I really thought in the back of my mind, I said, lady, that is very inconsiderate of you, considering the west side of the island has been decimated. Right? There's people there homeless and you're showing off your garden. I mean, that's your thing, and you're happy to have gotten out there scot-free. But I mean, there's people there without shelter, basic needs, and you know, great for your garden, but more important things to think about.
Fiona says that all other administrative fees still apply. Okay, well, that's good to know. I'm going to put the information for that. I'm going to look it up on the government website, over on the Jamaica government website, and put it down in our comments section there, so that people know what is exempt and what isn't exempt.
I think they do have a list of items. I recall somebody sent me a list the other day.
I know that the Jamaican Canadian, I believe it was the Jamaican Canadian Association, had sent out something on social media showing exactly the type of items that they would want. They would want, right? Because they're trying to gather up a shipment to send down. Yeah. So I don't know. For us personally, it's kind of hard to send a specific, barrel or whatever at this time to an area that you want to go.
I am personally waiting for the dust to settle a little bit.
It's a little easier, I think, right now to either donate to an organization that has boots on the ground there that you trust, that you can see that they're getting things done. Or, like I said, something as simple as some of our fellow YouTubers here that are doing such an excellent job.
And it's sad to say as well, because it's and this happens with any disaster anywhere in the world. There are always a few unscrupulous characters that have got their own agenda.
Yes.
And their own agenda is not to help the public at large or the people that has been affected by these natural disasters, but to, sustain some sort of personal gain from this. I did see something, though, and I have to comment on this because I thought it's very important. There's a little community in just outside of Savlamar by the name of Russia. Okay. I have been in that community before, and I saw them online, whereas the community has come together and start rebuilding homes and
already.
Absolutely. And I'm like, I wish I could see more of that, because that is a community. They've all come together and they start, action and put an action plan in place to rebuild their own community, rather than sitting around waiting for someone to come or the government to come and rebuild. They start rebuilding on their own.
Yeah, that's commendable. But could you imagine being in a community where everything is flat? There's nowhere to run for shelter because everything is flat. Elderly, babies, children, the elements are on you. The little food that you might get from the relief supplies that do manage to trickle in, you're trying to keep that food for you and your family safe from maybe the rats that are running around or the other animals that they're also hungry too. And then you hear people that are robbing people.
Yeah,
people who are sheltering in their car because their house is flat.
And I think a lot of that too, the fact that there's no running water, number one, there's no electricity, so that allows people that have pretty odd intentions to go around robbing people in the dark. Or
think of your mental health.
People's mental state right now must be a complete wreck.
No,
and don't be surprised if in the next little while you start seeing more and more social issues that it will affect these people.
Absolutely.
Because it's hard.
Coach has a comment here. She says, do you watch the Greens family here on YouTube? No, I don't think I have. They begun rebuilding their community with donations from their YouTube audience. There you go. There's another family. Awesome. If any of you have other YouTubers that you watch that you feel are doing a good job, please put it up in the chat so that we can all follow. Like the ones that I watch, Andre Stevens, Partner Draw TV, Jamaica.
Andre who?
Andre Stevens, the best.
That's her favorite.
That's my best friend in my head, anyways. So Andre, Cola Smith, J Progress, and the other one will come to me. I cannot remember this young man's name.
Is that the young man with the van the other day?
The young man that started out where he was with a van and his van broke down, and then he packed up his bike and he went on his bike. That's how it all started, and people started donating to him, and now he's made several drops to up in Westmoreland.
So he happened to pass by a house and he noticed that there are a few vans in the driveway.
Yes.
And he went knocking at the door and asked the owner of the van, "Sir, can I use your van for this purpose?" And the gentleman, without hesitation, said, "You know what? The Spirit take me feel." Yeah. And gave him the van. And matter of fact, when I heard that story, I picked up the phone and I called that company because they had their company name advertising on the side of the van. I called them to say, thank you very much. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for your humanitarian position and for helping others. So we have to recognize people for their good deeds. And that was one of them.
And I mean,
get the stack of paper, or is that too high?
No, yeah, maybe. I feel like it's a bit low. There's stories like this across the island that are giving, us that are on this side a little bit of hope, because I can't even imagine the mental toll that it takes on you, where if it starts to rain, you have nothing to protect you from the elements at night when it starts to get a little chilly, as far as Jamaica goes, especially up in the hills. There's no shelter, there's no blanket, there's no warmth. These people have to be picking through the rubble to try to find their ID, the little mementos. Imagine if you're on medication and your medication is gone. What do you do? How are these people, getting assistance? So I don't know. I've been kind of glued to the TV, yeah, that's a little better, I think.
All right.
Glued to the computer, trying to see the solutions that the Jamaican government has for these things. Now, I know they're being criticized because a lot of people are saying that the efforts are a little bit too slow. And I mean, I could just imagine that it takes the logistics to get all of this sorted out is a huge undertaking.
I don't care who or what or when wants to criticize the government. I will tell you personally, I think they're doing an amazing job. Could they have done better? Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. There's always room for improvement.
Right.
I think they've done a great job. I think one has to bear in mind that no matter how prepared you think you may have been, or the government or the country or individuals may have been, you cannot be prepared enough
for a hurricane.
For a Category 5 hurricane.
True.
Come on.
True.
Let's be real. They're doing an amazing job airlifting food into the people and various needs and try to reach isolated areas to help people. We might have one or two incidents that, again, this budget thing and Minister Vaz, and these are happenings. Yes, I get it. But can we focus on the big picture, the big picture of humanitarian?
Well, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb, being Miss Nobody, and I'm not the expert of Jamaica by no doubt. Let me just put that preface. I am no expert, but the optics of this business, where half of the Buju's barrels are now coming up empty, and Buju's not the only one that's saying that this has been happening. This has been a long-standing thing that Jamaicans have just been complacent that this is going to happen when you send things through at Norman Manley Airport. Half you're
whatever port you send it in.
You're going to be taxed, right? You're going to be taxed. Either you have to grease someone's palm, or you're going to have to come off of some of your goods in your barrel. And I don't think that's right, especially right now. Like, come on, that's
well,
not
the
right.
timing couldn't have been poorer. But like Lo said, it has been something that's been going on since Wappy killed Philip, as I'm saying. I've been on no near Wappy.
Oh gosh!
But it's been something that's been happening for a long time, because the people that are responsible for the oversight, there is no oversight. And that's part of the problem.
That's right.
There is no oversight.
And when people are taking their own money, their own time, right, to get a private plane to Jamaica with food filled with cargo, it's not cheap. So he rallied all of his resources, got this plane down there just to have all this stuff missing. No, that is absolutely not right. And he has every right to call it out.
Absolutely. It's
And
disheartening.
so I'm on Team Buju. Now we have a couple comments here. Simone TV says, welcome
Simone
back.
TV. We are back. We are back. We are back.
Hi, Simone. Nice to be back. And Gary has a comment here. He says, I was keen to participate in a meaningful discussion in Melissa's aftermath, but it seems a little too controversial at the moment. I'll wait for the conversation around building robust homes. Okay. Let's start the conversation about building robust homes, Gary McIntosh.
What about this thing about bringing in these portable type homes? They're saying that they're about $3,000 US per home. It's a temporary.
I think it's a little more. It's the shipping containers.
Oh, is it shipping containers?
The shipping containers. There's a company in Jamaica. I know I saw it on Andre Stevens' platform. He's already started, actually. He's partnered with this company, and he's getting donations from abroad because he has a huge following. So these people are donating to Andre, and Andre's partnering with this company, and they're going to start out, I believe, with 2 modular homes made out of these shipping containers that are all retrofitted, beautiful looking, and it's not just a temporary thing.
Oh, I see.
Right? It's not just a temporary
I've actually
thing.
seen in St. Elizabeth some of these modular homes,
beautiful,
with containers. I remember seeing one with 3 or 4 large containers, shipping containers, and it was owned by a doctor in St. Elizabeth, and he was putting this thing together. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Well,
I don't know if that's what we're talking about.
He has a goal that he wants to try and erect a certain amount by a certain time, but he's starting with 2, and I think that's an excellent solution. These homes are they're pretty modern. They have all conveniences, running water, electricity. I think that's a good solution.
How do these things? I mean, it's a great, quick fix solution for people that are without homes. But how do things like that stand up to, say, future hurricane? Because now that we're in this process of repairing what is happening or what has happened to Jamaica, we have to bear in mind that we have to build these homes with expectations that there could possibly be more Category 5 hurricanes that are going to hit the island.
Sure.
How are we putting together protective measures to secure these people, secure their homes and their safety as well?
I get you, but for me personally, I'm thinking tents. Let's start getting these people at least in tents for the immediacy. If you pitch a tent today, at least that's saving you for right now. It's getting you out of the elements for right now, from the mosquitoes, from the rain, from the damp, the dew, the dampness. At least that gets you underneath some sort of temporary shelter, right? True. There's gonna have to be a wider discussion about homes,
more structured homes.
Yeah. I think the government, that's part of what these millions and millions of dollars that are pouring in from all over the world, that's part of what I think the government should be responsible to do, right? Trying to get those type of maybe some sort of modular home or even getting the infrastructure fit. All the light posts, and
it was mentioned to me a couple of days ago, as you mentioned about light posts, that part of the restructuring program of the infrastructure is going to involve a lot of fiber optics, underground cable, elimination of all the lamp poles, which once those go down, the entire grid is out of action. So they're looking to do all that. So that's not a bad move moving forward into the future, because that's the way of the future is fiber optics and underground cable.
But I mean, it's going to take a lot of logistics. I mean, how are you going to figure out who's the first person to get homes? These people, all their paperwork is gone. How are they going to prove that they're the landowners?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues.
If there's nothing there, how do you prove that you even had a house? Right?
So where does the property line start and where it begins, or where it ends?
I don't know, but it's a nightmare of logistics to figure out.
It's a nightmare.
And in my mind, all I'm thinking about is, there's a whole town of people that are just out in the elements.
I'll tell you something else that has been concerning as of late, that for some strange reason, we have looped humanitarian practice in with politics. Okay. And that is a recipe for disaster. Okay. It seems like every politician in Jamaica wants to ensure that all the resource goes to their constituency. Okay. And in doing so, you wonder, is this really humanitarian, or is this a political ploy to win votes or to do that? I don't know. I don't like the smell of it. I mean, I understand that people need to put politics aside when it comes to disasters, when it comes to humanitarian practices, and let's just get back to being human again and start helping each other. Let's start building community after community, which in turn will build a country, build the
on the
parish,
other hand, I think a lot of that is happening. I think as soon as the hurricane hit, everybody outside of Jamaica started rallying and getting resources together, and foreign governments, everybody started pouring into Jamaica. So I think the help is there, and the help is coming. It's now how to dispatch that help
how to
in the most effective way.
And I think we sometimes not realizing to the extent of where this help is coming from. Because sometimes I hear a name of a country that either has deployed either a ship with goods, or the helping hands is coming from all over the world, from all nations. The help is help.
Now, Gary says, when I say robust, I'm referring to proper walls and concrete roofs. I agree with Lowe that government should lead the charge on building safer, hurricane-proof homes. He says, politics now are part of the convo. Category 5 hurricane. That's what I mean by controversial. Okay. Well, Jamaica is not a stranger to controversy, politics, money mix-up. Okay? Like I said, I'm not the Jamaica expert.
Jamaica is not a real place,
but
right?
I do watch, and I'm getting all my education through University of YouTube, because there's a lot of robust discussions on various platforms about how the Jamaican political machine works, right? So now they've just come out of an election. They re-elected the prime minister, right? Prime Minister Holness. So it's time to show what you're made of, right? This is the time to step up, politics aside, and get the job done. They have an insurance policy, so he got some insurance money, as well as a lot of
well, we don't know if that money's come through yet, but it's on the books that they're slated to get quite a few hundreds of
millions of dollars,
millions of U.S. currency as part of an insurance package that was invested into. By it might have been the previous administration. I don't know. It's
I think if we, the little people outside of Jamaica that still have ties to Jamaica see that the efforts by the government are going smoothly, that we can see what they're doing with the aid that's coming in. We can see that people are getting good, proper homes. And
it would be more encouraging.
It's more encouraging to keep donating.
To get going.
But if there's this cloud of, is the money going to where it needs to go, or is there scamming going on? Is government not doing what they should be doing with the money? Are funds being channeled off to the side? If all that is there, nobody's going to be encouraged to keep donating.
Based on historical behavior and historical practice, we're always going to be scrutinizing the practices of any government official.
As oversight, as you should. There should always be oversight. Right? There should always be oversight.
Because there's no oversight measures in place to do that. And we question the ones that are.
Well, I think now there is enough of a strong opposition that they're already asking the tough questions. Mm-hmm. The tough questions are already being asked. So, like I said, not being the Jamaican expert, but I have to have some confidence in this administration that they're going to do what's right. We have no choice but to have some confidence in them.
Well, they were reelected, so
they're the ones that are running the show right now. So, it's our hope that they will make sure that the people that need it get it. And I'm under the understanding that there's still some people who have not gotten the first batch of aid. It's been 2 weeks. And they haven't even got any relief.
So you can only imagine the desperation.
That's right.
When a relief convoy goes into those areas.
Don't have water. They don't have
food. And not only that, but I understand through a conversation I just had briefly with someone in Jamaica that the water came on in the Montego Bay region for a very short while today. So whatever little water they have, they now feel they have to severely ration that. Because they don't know when those pipelines are going to be open again, right? And that's something else. That is talking about Montego Bay, which is, again, the second city and a place where a lot of the resources would go. What about people in the rural areas that don't have access to water, don't have access to, the infrastructure has been damaged. You don't have access to the pipes being turned on. They have to start turning to wells or to streams or whatever it is that's available to them to get proper drinking water, which, as we speak about proper drinking water, could possibly be infected by dead carcasses and the runoff. And that's a serious problem that is going to and may lead to some form of epidemic in that region.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing.
But the one thing that I find with this disaster that I don't remember ever having such access to the devastation immediately, not even immediately after, during, before. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was right there with them before the storm, during the storm, after the storm. People were, broadcasting live from all over the affected areas. I've never seen.
And strangely though, we noticed, I think I was logged into about 4 or 5 different cameras, mainly in Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catharines area. Yeah. And there was one single camera that was in Little London, in Westmoreland. That was the first camera to go blank. And I should have known, because that camera just got knocked out.
Never goes?
No, it was out, completely out. While the ones in Kingston were still going. There weren't anyone on the street, but the breeze was very slight. That's because all the action was on the west side of the island.
It was funny because as we were, scouring through all these different YouTubers that were showing all the different areas that they were broadcasting from, the ones that did have some internet feed, Nino came across the gate of his relatives that live in Westmoreland, and he paused it and he says, "That's the house." So we could see that, it got a little damaged. This was just somebody that was driving down the road and was just panning through. And that's what a lot of them were doing. They were just driving by, showing you the area, talking to people who didn't have internet were saying, please get a message to so-and-so. And, and that's how he managed to see the house where his relatives are.
Recognizing the gate the color of the gate, and started panning out and realized, oh my goodness, that's the house.
Yeah.
I could see a tree falling down behind. I could see roof damage.
And you hadn't heard from them.
And I hadn't heard from them.
Days.
Yeah, I was really concerned because it's been days. I haven't heard any message at all from them as to whether they were okay or not. But that gave me a glimmer of hope that everything is fine, because the roof, even though it was damaged, it wasn't completely torn off.
Yeah.
So if there were occupants in there, they might be, they might be okay.
Now, does anybody that's here in the chat have any family that they've spoken to? If so, what's their situation in Jamaica? Are they doing okay? Do they have the provisions they need? Do they have a safe place to be right now? What areas are your family?
People are probably going to ask why you got your hoodie on in the house, like creeping up like the Grim Reaper.
It's getting chilly.
Yeah, it's getting chilly. You guys know, Tremaine, we're talking about Jamaica and the hurricane and the relief process.
Funny enough, my granddaughter, the eldest one, Zuri,
she's 4,
and she was a little concerned. She was visibly upset because she said, "Oh my goodness, the hurricane went to Jamaica," and she was crying. She said, "You mean I won't get to see Jamaica again?"
Yeah,
and she was really concerned. Like
she thought Jamaica was broken forever.
Yeah.
So that goes to show, if that's a child that's over here and in virtual safety of her home, her school here, imagine the children that are in that devastation, what they must be going through. Imagine what they must be going through. They have no school. They're not going to school. Their school is gone. Their house is gone. All of their things are gone. Let's see. Gary says politics now are part of the convo. Oh, I read that part. You're pointing. You're showing me a comment. A thing I've already read.
I don't have my glasses on. I can't see.
On, dear. Put your glasses on. Yeah. So imagine the mental health of the people that are in this devastation. The children. And this is something that is not going to be soon forgotten.
Yeah, it won't be soon forgotten.
I mean, people are still talking about Gilbert. That was 32 years ago, I believe.
Was years ago.
So this
and
is
Gilbert. The level of damage that Jamaica sustained was nothing. Matter of fact, my aunt, who actually was in Jamaica during Gilbert, I spoke to her a few days ago. She has left the area and gone to safety in another area. She was saying that this was nothing like Gilbert. This is beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. So, to give you the level of devastation, and of course, there's the damage there to back it up, that it was quite devastating.
Yeah, I would love to find. I'm gonna look for a charity, and hopefully adopt one that we here on the Nino and Low platform can pour into, because I would love to make it a little bit more personal, like, sponsor a specific group or a specific school or a specific family, and then you can kind of, carry them through the storm, so to speak.
I mean, I would love for us to just go down to Jamaica to kind of see. I just don't think right now is a good time.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on.
Too much going on. And I would want to jump in and, use my skills any way I can. And you can't just do that. You can't just go there and start providing medical aid where these people don't know your credentials, or
no, you have to be with an organization.
I would love to go there and help with the medical relief portion of things.
So it is one of those things, guys, where from the beginning I kept on saying, I mean, we kind of have somewhat of an opposite view, because I kept on saying that Jamaica needed a reset.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
Not like
this.
She
was saying, no, not like this. Maybe not like this. And this is quite severe. But what I was referring to is the fact that Jamaica and Jamaicans seem to have completely forgotten what it's like to love and care for each other, to the point where they've lost their sense of community. They've lost their sense of belonging. They've lost their self of, help thy neighbor and so on and so forth. And we needed to get back to that. We needed to get back to that. This is severe. I get that. I get that. But I just think that something was going to happen. And here's my other fear that I have. My other fear that I have is if these people, and when I say these people, I'm referring to Jamaicans, if they're not paying attention to what has gone on, I will hate to see the next chapter that comes. I will hate to see it.
If you're there in Jamaica, you can't help but to pay attention. You're in the midst of it. You have to pay attention, whether you were directly affected or not.
I hope so.
Now, Fiona says, my family in Jacksontown, Trelawney, the roof is completely gone, but everyone is okay. Thank God.
Amen. Thank
Community
God for that.
is a mess, but no life lost.
And and you hear that a lot.
And most of the houses have no roof. She says the ones that are fully board constructions are totally demolished. Oh my God. And Simone says she's still here, my darling. Still here, my darling, with her UK accent.
with the devastation. I think one of the things that will be created, there's a silver lining under every cloud. I think anyone in Jamaica right now that's in the construction business, carpentry, roofing, I don't know why I have work till I don't know if we're doing work.
True.
It'd be a lot of work. It'd be a lot of repairs. But we have to start. It has to start somewhere. And I think with a lot of these funding that's coming in, that the Jamaican government have all this money to repair and fix the infrastructure, I certainly hope that they take the step of ensuring that Jamaicans are employed to keep that money in Jamaica and keep it circulating, rather than bringing in foreign entity unnecessarily.
True, but I think any help is good help. So whether it's
any help is good help.
Foreign help, Jamaican help, any help.
But I would prefer to see the money stay in Jamaica, circulate within Jamaica a few times.
Well, thank goodness, Fiona, that everybody in your town and your family are safe. Thank God for that. Now, Gary says, I lived in Jamaica during Gilbert, which was horrendous, he says.
I can imagine.
So one of the first questions I ask relatives is, what was a Category 5? What did a Category 5 feel like? I feel that's another aspect, the trauma.
Yeah. Because I think Gilbert, if I'm not mistaken, was a 4. I don't think Jamaica's ever been hit with a 5.
I've seen a few people come on the internet, especially there was an elderly blind lady, and she said that she was hanging on to the bed, and the roof came off in the rain, and she was getting wet up, and she thought that was the end for her. Wow. And she was just praying to God that the wind didn't take her out.
Simultaneously, as we were experiencing Hurricane Gilbert on this side, just within the last week, over in Asia, over in Philippines and the Thailand area, they've been experiencing typhoon as it's their typhoon season. And I remember watching a couple clips, and this one young girl was just perched up on this concrete block, because the water level is rising so fast that she had nowhere to go. The next place she's going to go is on top of the roof, just for safety. And people just walking up and down the streets with water level literally up to their waist.
Oh, wow.
Right. So there's just a lot of things going on, and we just have to work together.
Says, I agree, Nino. If we as a people or a country don't get it together, the latter will be detrimental. The latter will be detrimental.
That is so true. That is so true.
Well, I think
that is so true.
With social media and everybody in Jamaica with their cell phone and access to the internet, or they had access to the internet, I think a lot of discussion around mental health, trauma, how to get through this will be there, because these people aren't going to be able to, access mental health treatment, or they barely have water to drink. They're not going to be able to access treatment.
Well, there has to be an initiative come from the government. Because the days I'm looking at people, I say, yeah, madman.
Right. Those days are over.
Those days are over. And we have to take this very seriously, because mental health itself is a very serious epidemic that can spread like wildfire, And having go through this trauma of this recent natural disaster, there's going to be a lot of help needed.
Yeah.
right? Both from adults to younger people. There's just going to be a lot of things happening.
Yeah. And like Gary was saying, the people that were there, there was people that were skeptical. A lot of people were not taking the warnings to leave their house because they kept moving the date of when this hurricane was going to hit. Because I myself that was watching kept saying they said it's going to hit today, and then it didn't hit, and
It was stayed out at sea for quite some time.
Right. So people were a little bit skeptical. So, now that they've been through it, there might be a lot of guilty feelings saying, I should have left if I had
and not only that, but the skepticism all came from the fact that if you reflect back in all the hurricanes that were supposed to have hit Jamaica, and a lot of them missed. Right. Either they turned early, turned late. Said Jamaica's been blessed, and as a result, in their mind, it's just another false call.
Now, what do you guys think about all this talk and controversy that this whole hurricane, this Category 5, was man-made? That they're saying that there's this doomsday weather machine that the government has access to, and they're trying to wipe out certain parts of Jamaica so that they can buy the land and make this new city where everything is digital and cashless and it's all this kind of stuff. A lot of conspiracy theory going on. As a matter of fact, there's an actual laboratory, I believe it's in Florida. I think it's a NASA laboratory where they actually imitated a Category 5 hurricane indoors, meaning that they were able to duplicate the wind speeds, the trajectory of the water, all that kind of stuff indoors. So they're saying that's proof that they do have the capability.
I don't think they've ever denied that they do have the capability.
So I'm just wondering if anybody else has been hearing all this conspiracy theory going around the net, and what do you think? What do you think, guys? Let's talk about it.
Can I just jump in here and say, in my opinion, I've never doubted that they've always had that ability to test and, as to Category 5, whatever the case may be. But I also think that this hurricane is something that developed so fast and so quickly, and it really hovered within the Caribbean Sea. And a lot of that, the speed of the development, I think, has a lot to do with climate change.
I think it
has to do with climate change.
I think it's climate change for sure. 100%.
As far as this conspiracy goes, there's a reason people are talking about these things.
Well,
right?
Fiona says, I think the conspiracy is mostly from the TikTok University.
It could be. It could be. Because they're saying it's a conspiracy. Well, you know what? You're trying to use a Category 5 to destroy Jamaica. And I think a lot of that, as far as the conspiracy goes, a lot of that also surround the fact that that whole Black River, St. Elizabeth area was actually just earmarked for the third city. It was earmarked to become the third city in that region.
So they're saying now that they needed to wipe it out so that they can rebuild it in the way that they want it designed.
You got it. That's right. They want to build a smart city down there. That's why they've wiped it out.
Right. So there is some basis.
There might be
behind the conspiracy theory. Every conspiracy
I am not going to dismiss it.
Is born of something legitimate, right?
Yes, I'm not going to dismiss it.
There's a thread of legitimacy, and then they just take it left. So I don't know. Some of it is quite out there. I don't think I believe all of it. I think it's a matter of climate change, and I mean it's hurricane season, is it not? And like Nino said, Jamaica has been spared immensely over the last few hurricane seasons.
And not only that too, but we have to bear in mind, again, you're talking about the third city being built as a smart city, St. Elizabeth Black River area. There's also land earmarked to have a third international airport in Westmoreland. Okay. And this is something that's they've been actively talking about this for the last little while, that the airdrome that they have in Negril, they plan to expand that, realizing that's something to do with the land and that they can't do that. So they've gone through and earmarked the cane field, because if anyone knows the Westmoreland area, it's very flat. It's a very flat area.
Gary
and
says
it
you
is
seem
ideal.
to be giving the conspiracy theorists some benefit of the doubt.
Hey,
Mr.
why not?
Nino.
Why not? It's Gary, as Lo said, that it's a conspiracy, yes, but it was the birth of that conspiracy had to start somewhere. And I'm not going to completely dismiss it. I don't agree with it, but I'm all ears if someone has something else to say in respect to that.
A lot of people say on the internet that cautioning all these people with devastation on their land, whether their house is gone or whatever, do not sell your land. Do not sell your land. Hang on to your land, because speculators will probably come in and, you know, try to talk you out into selling your land because your house is now devastated. You don't have the money to rebuild. You can't see where that money is going to come from. So people might sell their land at maybe a cheaper rate.
And bear in mind that with this speculation, as I mentioned earlier, about the third international airport that's earmarked for Westmoreland. So with airport, and as you know, the redevelopment of the roadway, that's, I call that commerce. I call that business opportunities. Okay. So yes, people are going to be coming out to your land because they want to buy the land, but they might have other reasons why they want it. You know, it's a great way to bring items into the country, to funnel it by road. As the roadway in the south of Jamaica right now is amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Well,
getting through parts of it.
We will see how all of this conspiracy and the theories and all of this stuff works. But in the meantime, it's, you know, to try to get aid, food, and basic necessities to the people that have been affected. That is priority number one. Now, Fiona says the original video was spliced. The video from the PM was never for a smart city. Okay, so you see,
it wasn't for a smart city.
So there's already some controversy going on, because honestly, people, you cannot believe what you see
the whole idea,
and what you hear coming from this internet anymore. With all this AI business going on, they can replicate any visual of any person.
So am I to understand that the idea that a third city was to be developed in St. Elizabeth, Black River area is a sham? That just
She's saying that the original video was spliced together. The video that was from the PM was spliced, and it was never for a smart city.
No, it was never a mention about a smart city. I just kind of threw that in there. It was a mention that it will be earmarked to be the third city. So
I've been hearing little bits and pieces, and I'm not totally familiar with the landscape of Jamaica. I keep saying I'm not a Jamaicanologist, right?
A Jamaicanologist.
But I've been hearing.
You eat tribe bean? Have you ever had tribe bean?
No.
No,
I'll never be one for tribe bean. But I know enough to know which side was affected by the hurricane. At least I know.
Yes, you have that much knowledge.
Right.
There you go.
And you know, from taking deep dives through the map, and Nino kind of showing me how, because I couldn't understand the way that the whole map and where what was until, you know, we had to break it out, and Nino had to give me that little education, because I kept thinking I know the way from Westmoreland through Montego Bay. But anyhow, I got my little crash course on the different parishes and how things work, because up in the St. Elizabeth type of area, we never really go up in there. We usually go.
No, we've passed through there. So coming down Spur Tree Hill.
Yes, I remember going through there.
Yeah, so we would have come down Spur Tree Hill as soon as you hit the bottom of Spur Tree Hill.
But when we go from Montego Bay to Westmoreland, we don't go through St. Elizabeth.
No, because that's on the southwest side of the island.
Now, Gary says, sounds alarmist to caution people not to sell. Wouldn't it be a reasonable suggestion to sell and move after something like Melissa? I don't know, because a lot of what I've been seeing, alarmist as it may sound, they're saying that people might approach you to buy your land at
a much
cheaper rate of what it's worth. So they're telling people, before you get this knee-jerk reaction, just, you know,
hold on to it.
Let the dust settle.
Let the dust settle.
Aid is coming. See what the government has to offer, and don't be so quick to sell your land, because speculators are coming. And I think with every disaster of this type of nature, speculators are going to come.
And as well, when you think about a Category 5 hurricane that has passed through, what are the chances of another one passing through? Maybe not within the next 10 years.
Oh, let's hope.
Not only that is that the development of the new city in the southwest corridor lends itself to the south coast of the island being developed with more hotels being erected. Right now, the only structural hotel that is down there of any significance is a Sandals hotel. That's by Beast. I think it's called Beast and Spring or somewhere along there where the Sandals South Coast is. So there are plans to develop, and hotel developers have been going in, surveying the land and looking to purchase various lands right along the waterfront in order to, make that more of an active tourist area. So land price is going to be,
at a premium.
premium.
Now, Fiona says it was in relation to the fact that the country has ignored the food basket of Jamaica.
Big time.
When St. Thomas got an upgrade, the next upgrade was to be St. Elizabeth.
Yep.
She says, we as Jamaicans don't necessarily like change.
St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket of the country. There's a lot of farming that goes on down there, but it's not protected. Okay, it's not given the blessing that they should have. And again, it goes back to me. Roger Clark, Minister of Agriculture, was one of my favorite politicians. Roger Clark. I don't know a lot about farming, but I did learn a lot about ministering agriculture, where Roger Clark was concerned, because he was all about feed Jamaica, grow Jamaica, feed Jamaica. He was all about that. When that man passed away, it was a great loss.
Now, Gary, I don't mean to sound like an alarmist. I'm just kind of, bouncing around some theories of things that I've been watching, hearing, and trying to add to this topic to, try to invoke some conversation. I want to know what you guys are thinking. How are you guys seeing it? Do you think that maybe speculators are going to come, prices are going to be driven down, driven up? I think a lot of people...
But speculators they're going to come regardless.
Yeah.
When you see a disaster like of this magnitude, speculators are going to come regardless.
And I know people are desperate. So if they can offload something that they see as impossible to rebuild, they're going to do it.
Jamaica, 15 years ago, because 15 years ago, one of the mandate that the tourist board had on their mind is to build and open 15,000 hotel rooms in 15 years. Remember that conversation? Okay. Now they're looking for another mandate. But where are they going to build? Where are they going to be developing? South Coast. Southern coast of Jamaica is going to be the new tourist hub.
And
it's going to be the new tourist hub. There's no question
about it. I saw some footage. I believe it was St. Elizabeth. And I said to Nino, how is it possible that these people's houses are so close to the water? The water's edge is only a few feet away. And I'm like, people buy land that's so close to the water? Or is this land that these people have just captured?
It just captured it because, okay. So the basic principle is every single beachfront property and every beach in Jamaica is owned by the Crown. Okay, the Crown owns it. So don't fool yourself and think anybody owns it. Now, a lot of these hotels get erected and they cordon off a piece of the beach and they say the beach is for the public. The beach is for everyone. Okay, they have to make it so you can walk. You can't stop and utilize the amenities of their property, but you can walk the beach. You're free to walk the beach.
Who says so? So then how is it that in Montego Bay, where do you access the beach? On the hip strip?
You can because of the lay of the land.
Right. So you just said the beach is for everybody.
It is for everybody, so but you can't access it from there. If there were means for you to walk along the beach, no one could stop you from doing that. But there isn't means. There isn't means. Take Dr. Skate Beach, for instance. They allow them to cordon it off. But if you walk from Dr. Skate, where are you going to walk to? What is there to walk to?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? You can go to Sunset and that's the only public beach, which is probably the size of my driveway. It's the only public beach that they have there. You can go on there, and that's why a lot of local people, you'll see them gathering down at Dead End and try to utilize that little beachfront because that's the only public space there is.
Well, that's for another discussion, and that's for the Jamaican government to change those policies, which I think
it's a horrible policy.
That's something
policy.
That that's the next thing.
You can't walk on the beach privacy. There was an argument that came up about a homeowner stopping local people in Barbados from walking on the beach, and my God, they raised hell. They had to stand down. The people raised hell. They weren't going to allow that to happen. You can't come here, occupy a home that's on the beach, and then stop me from walking on the beach because you're claiming that's your backyard. It's not your backyard. It's the beach. Nobody owns it. Yeah. It is owned by the people. The only one that governs over that beach itself is the Crown. As you know, the Crown claims to own everything. But
interesting. Well, we're almost wrapping down. We have 15 minutes to go. And I must say, guys, this has been a robust discussion. Deep dive into Hurricane Melissa and how the relief effort is going. And I hope for everybody that's here that you try to figure out, how you can help in some way. It doesn't always have to be sending money down or, anything of that nature, because sometimes you got to hold on to your purse strings and help in another way. Sometimes it's helping in another way.
And as well, in ensuring that the help that you want to administer gets to the correct source. Sometimes that has to be done personally or as a group.
And like I said, I'm going to throw down in the description or the comments, whichever, some information about all the different organizations that I know about. And if you guys have any, we're getting Red's Room viewers.
Red's Room, Wagwan. Yes.
Red's Room is jumping in. Oh my gosh.
What's going on, Red's Room? Right now, we've been having a discussion about Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica and how it affects Jamaicans and the resources going in. And one of the things that we've said, Reds, is that
raid alert.
As Nino and Lo, what we're doing is we're kind of holding off a little bit, and the holding off is to allow the dust to settle. And logistically, there's so many moving parts down there that for you to now bombard that and get in there, you're just going to add to the congestion and, but
here comes the Red Room's crew.
Raid, what's going on, Red's Room? The posse. Welcome.
The ninjas
man
are jumping in.
Ninjas are coming.
The Ninja Raid. Our good friend Reds from Red's Room. Look at all these special friends. Special K247. We got Winston Chronicles. Of course, Red's Room TV is here. Fluffy Diva TV. Thank you all for jumping
Bless up on yourself, all the people from Red's Room. Bless to the Ninja. Big up Ninja.
All the mass bandits are jumping in on the live.
We love that. Appreciate it, guys.
Red's Room says, I was just asking about you guys today.
Well, you know what, Red? We're just taking a little bit of
a little siesta. Now we're back.
With the 3 grandkids, we've been spending all the time just, doing a grandparent thing.
Special K247 says, yes, he was just asking about you today. Now, Fluffy Diva TV is saying blessings to the chat. Gary says, Nino, how do you foresee this catastrophic hurricane panning out for the country and the people as a whole? That's a question.
I think, Gary, this is going to get the people to start thinking.
Yeah.
Start thinking, not just thinking in a sense of solely relying on the government to do what the government has to do, but you as an individual have to lay down your structure as a family, protect your family, ensure that homes are built properly. And then the government, of course, need to help to finance a lot of these people. Make sure that the houses are built properly, ensure that you guys have safety nets in place.
Yes.
Okay. To be able to stand up to any other future challenges that we may have, unlike Melissa and any kind of hurricane of this magnitude.
Yeah.
So it's work in progress, and it's going to be ongoing for a while, and it's going to incite a tremendous amount of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, both actively in Jamaica and the Caribbean on a whole.
Yes.
And we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this, and we're going to come out well on the
other side. Now, guys, we have Red's Room TV and all of his crew here doing a raid. So that's what you're seeing. All these, all the stuff that's coming in, all the people jumping in. Tile Pro 247. Who else we got? Now, Fluffy Diva is saying, Reds has been asking about you. You see that, Reds? You were asking about us today, and here we are. Here we are.
Ask and we shall be here, Reds. But the one thing
Reds. He's saying, welcome back, you guys.
Hey, Reds, can you do me a favor? Can you just serve up some drinks just to celebrate Nino and Lo return pun the top again? Serve up some drinks to Reds.
Goga was also asking for you guys. Oh gosh,
Goga,
we were missed. We were missed. Love you guys. Says Special K247. Thank you guys.
We appreciate the support. Watch it, Reds. I serve up the drinks, guys. Watch out now. Watch out. The drinks are out.
Okay, Reds is handing out the beverages, guys. He's handing out the beverages.
We're loving it. We're loving it, guys.
Well, I'm glad to see that you are all here and that you missed us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We were just here talking about Hurricane Melissa and the effects that it's had on our people. I know a lot of you here in the chat probably have ties to Jamaica, or like myself, you were born in Jamaica. As much as Nino's always teasing me that I'm not a real Jamaican, but I'm definitely born in Jamaica.
This is the number one Jafaican.
No, don't listen to Nino. So what we were saying is, how have you helped with the relief effort for the hurricane? Because I know, especially for us here in Toronto, it's not so easy.
Super duper.
Welcome back. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Special K.
Special K, appreciate that
Special
love.
Special K247. Thank you. Thank you very much. We were saying, how are you helping with the relief effort? Are you donating specifically? Are you donating to the government website? Are you sending something down? Because us here in Toronto, our options are a little bit limited as to how we can get goods down at the moment, because our major carrier that's sending goods down by air,
mainly dealing with a lot of the larger groups like the Lifeline, Global Medic, Red Cross. But I had something on the top of my head I wanted to mention.
No, you were just saying that you have to use a subsidiary to get your barrels down at the moment. Or I think the airline is allowing you an extra suitcase.
Yeah, a lot of the times people are going by way of trying to ship stuff down. But Air Canada does have a provision in place, whereas if you're booked with Air Canada and you're allotted 1 or 2 bags based on your ticket purchase, they're allowing you to take an additional 2 bags at no additional cost.
Yes.
Okay? And that's per person. So if you got a family of 3 going down, that's an additional 6 bags that you can carry per person, as far as the group is concerned. And that will allow you to get some supplies and some necessary amenities down to friends and families in Jamaica. Personally, for me, unable to do that, one of the things that I've done is there's a group in Toronto called Global Medic, who's very responsive to any natural disaster that happens around the world. They have various deployment, and they supply foods and personal care items and water purification systems. I've been doing a lot of volunteering with them. So there is a website. If you go on to Global Medic,
and we will put the information down there at the end of the live.
If you go onto that website and register to be a volunteer,
and you can help to pack bags, pack
you can help to
barrels,
do a lot of things,
boxes.
and that's your contribution. Now, it's not necessarily a contribution to just Hurricane Melissa, because they help all over the world. But right now, they've taken on that step to aid in the supplying of necessities to
to the hurricane
people.
Now we have Windstone's Chronicle that gave us a big super chat
big
here.
Up yourself,
big up yourself,
Windstones.
He
the
says,
Chronicle.
So we
big
do
up
it,
yourself.
twin.
We love that.
Thank you.
Large up yourself and big up
Fiona Jam Princess says, See Jamaica is collecting freights. See Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah. They're collecting, but bear in mind that does take, when you send things by sea, it takes a little longer. If
to get any of you that are here that have ways that you're getting your goods sent through, please, as well as in the chat, put it in the comments at the end of the video so that we can have it there, so other people can have access to it.
Absolutely.
Windstone Chronicles is saying, yes, Twinny.
Big up yourself.
Blessings. Everyone's saying blessings. Guys,
I need you guys to do me a favor though. I need everybody to go out there and tell everybody that Nino and Lo is on. Tell your mother, tell your uncle, your sister, your brother-in-law, sister. Tell the whole of them. Nina and Lo we are back.
And if you haven't given us a thumbs up, please go ahead and do so now so that our little algorithm can realize that we're back on the block.
Yes.
Because as you all know, sometimes Google just sucks the life out of you. Or I shouldn't say Google, I should say YouTube. And you need just that little mental break, right? So
we took our mental break, as well as because we bring on our broadcast on Sundays. Sometimes it's a little bit challenging because we work different shifts. I might be on working on a Sunday. She might be on. We're trying to devise a way where we can try to have it consistently on a Sunday at 4:30, but we will have it when we're off. But when we're not, it's a little touchy,
But it is what it is, and we're back on the block. And I mean, a few little updates. Maybe 2 weeks ago, just as the hurricane was hitting Jamaica, a snowstorm hit Toronto here. A little earlier than expected. A lot more snow that is expected this time of year.
Did you say a snowstorm?
A snowstorm. We had a snowstorm.
I'm going to say a snowfall.
No.
What kind of snowstorm I thought about?
It covered the whole garden.
That wasn't a snowstorm. That was a snowfall.
Anyhow, whichever.
That was actually a Winnipeg summer.
It covered my garden a lot sooner than it needs to. So there's a lot of stuff that I have to go out there and do. Trying to secure some of my root balls, some of the plants that I have to dig up and save the roots because, being in this climate, we cannot leave some of the plants in the ground or else they won't make it. So I have a lot of work to do, a lot of cleanup. I didn't even get to start cleaning up some of my garden before we got that dump of snow. So
there we go. That's what I like to hear. Dump of snow.
It was a snowstorm.
We
get snow, but we don't get that much snow at this time of year usually.
But we usually get a snowfall this time of year.
If you have someone that uses a shipping company, it will probably be faster, but probably more cost effective to send a barrel, is what Winston is saying. Now, Winston Chronicles, are you here in Toronto? Where are you located? Reds is saying, share the live, guys. Share the live.
Share out the live.
Gary says, Lo saw a snowstorm.
I don't know, Gary.
I saw a snowstorm because of my garden. Listen, it was a snowstorm, Gary. And Reds, you live in Toronto.
It was snow. I don't know about a storm.
Reds is calling you to the front of the class.
Reds, let me tell you, my brother, you know that was no storm. That was a snowfall.
It was a snowstorm.
No, it was not. I will argue that. It was not a snowstorm. If it were a snowstorm, we would still see snow outside right now.
Well, it melted pretty quickly because it warmed up within days of the snowstorm. So we all knew that it wasn't going to last, but it caught us by surprise. A lot of the trees haven't dropped their leaves yet.
And I tell you what it did. It caught us by surprise if you don't pay attention to the news.
No, well, we knew it was coming, but it usually doesn't snow like that.
I didn't even put my snow tires on. I didn't put my snow tires on.
Nothing was ready in my garden.
Guys, don't forget to give us a thumbs up while you're there because you know how.
Oh, Winston says that he's in Maryland, USA.
Oh, Maryland, Wagwan.
Red's room says it was a storm. Thank you, Red.
You let me down, man.
Thank you, Red.
That was no storm. was no storm. Talk to me in
Gary
January or
says,
February.
No, Lo, there has been no snowstorm yet since last winter. Gary, okay, look at that. I have two of my fellow Torontonians here.
Listen.
Red says it was a snowstorm, and Gary says it was not.
If you guys ever been to Winnipeg, people are wearing, this is that kind of weather that we have. They call it bikini weather in Winnipeg. It's still wearing their bikinis and go for a swim.
Blessed Life Journey is here. Wagwan, my sister. She says she's part of the Ninja Raid. Oh, Red said he did a video on it. You know, I was so devastated, Reds, as to how my garden looked after with that blanket of snow and all my poor tender plants out there. I just closed back the curtain and just pretended like I didn't see it. She's
got to spend some time out there to get the gardens prepared.
Nino is calling.
Reds are calling me.
Reds is calling you to the office.
Rotted. Oh boy.
Okay, now Winston says I have sent stuff multiple ways to Jamaica. The barrel might take longer, but it is the most cost effective to clear a barrel versus packages. Because you know, if you're watching
and it was
the internet, clearing of barrels, it was actually quite the thing.
It was actually mentioned earlier on the chat that even though there's an exemption for certain fees in the importation of barrels or various other goods, it's not everything that is being what's the word I'm looking for?
Exempt.
Being exempt.
Right.
Okay.
There's still
you still have to
fees.
pay the station fee. You still have to pay the GCT. Is that what it's called? GCT?
Yeah.
I think so. You still have to pay various fines, but as far as the custom fees are concerned, that is what is being waived primarily.
Right.
Okay. So you get there and you say, well, I'm not supposed to pay anything. Well, you're going to have to, because anything being imported into any port, okay, a entry fee, what they call a station fee, applies at all times, and they're not by any means exempting that.
Blessed Life Journey is blessing us up. Now, Gary says, Nino, has Air Canada implemented any special measures for disaster relief to Jamaica?
Well, the disaster relief, just to address your question there, Gary, the disaster relief that I'm aware of to Jamaica is being funneled through all the big organizations, three primarily: Lifeline, Global Medic, and Red Cross. Okay, they're sending all their items into Jamaica, and it's completely free of cost to them.
That's huge cargo planes huge. Packed with different
So just
items.
Imagine 20 or 30 tons of cargo going in, covering the belly of the aircraft, and there's no charge to those companies, those charitable organizations that are bringing it in. As far as individual goes, one of the provisions that they put in place is that if you are an Air Canada ticket holder and you have your PNR, you are entitled to 2 additional bags over above what is allotted based on your ticket price. Okay, and that is free.
But you have
to reach out to Air Canada, and you have to register 48 hours prior to departure with the baggage department. They then send you an email saying it's a go, and they'll put your name on the list. And
so that's very important information, guys. If you're here in Toronto traveling on Air Canada, you can bring some extra suitcases, but you need to do your little homework to be able to get the okay.
Yep.
Now Gary says great relief strategy, Air Canada.
And I think part of that is because there's very little being funneled through the cargo network at the moment, okay, for whatever reason. All right, so they're allowing that. Otherwise, the aircraft the belly will go completely empty. And they're just trying to utilize that space and ensure that people have the ability.
Less passengers are going.
Less passengers. They have the ability to be able to send these humanitarian items to their loved ones.
Right. So I think with all of us here sharing ideals of how we're getting our goods and services to our loved one, what we're doing in order to get our supplies out there and to aid people. And I mean, any little bit helps, guys. Doesn't matter how big, how small. Find a charitable organization or another fellow YouTuber with boots on the ground in Jamaica that you trust. I'm going to list the ones that I've followed and donated to on the bottom. Find the ones that you trust, that you can see the work that they're doing.
Guys, I just want to let you know that they're really, really in need of a lot of help. If you have not yet seen all the clips and the footage from there are parts of the island that's been decimated.
Yeah.
Okay. The disaster is vast. The humanitarian effort is humongous. The repair on the infrastructure, there's still people that are isolated in small communities that they have not yet reached out to, that they're trying hard. Helicopters bringing airlifting supplies in to keep and to sustain life in these small rural communities. So any little that we can do to contribute, like Lo says, to ensure that we work with people and groups that have boots on the ground that can get these things to the needy.
Now listen to Gary. Gary says, do either of you want to plan to head to Jamaica by year's end, perhaps to help out? And Red's Room is saying some great information. It's been a real mess for sure, especially with the trust factor. Now, before you start, I want to address what Gary says. I would love to go to Jamaica to help. If I could be guaranteed a certain situation, which I know it's not about me, I would have been there already. But the thing is, from what I can see, the people that are in Jamaica, that know the lay of the land, that are already there, that have, big platforms, and they've gotten all the foreign aid donated specific to them. For instance, Andre Stevens and Cola Smith. They, on their first runs into Westmoreland and the western part of Jamaica, they themselves had difficulties. They were attacked by mobs. Some of them got robbed. Assaulted. I know Andre got some guys, they got assaulted. Yeah. So as much as you would love to, knee-jerk reaction to go there, you have to be smart about it. I would love to partner myself with somebody that's already there, that have certain logistics in place, that I can just kind of slip in and help them and work with them. But we'll see how this unfolds. Maybe it's something that we can plan and get out there, no matter how big or how small. Maybe to partner with someone, like I said, to help to render as much help as you can give.
As well, Gary, one of the things I would like to lean on the side of caution and ensure that the dust kind of settle. The dust kind of settle a little bit before rushing in there, because the Jamaica that we know prior to Melissa, we're not looking at the same Jamaica. I think the infrastructure has changed.
Reds, take it serious.
What's Reds going on with now?
We're having a serious discussion here, Reds. Reds is putting up our picture and says, "Have you seen these two? They're on the milk. They're on the milk cartons. They've been missing for a while. They're on the milk cartons." And Winston is saying that he's also been talking about safety. There's a lot of safety issues right now because people are desperate times, desperate measures, right? And far be it from us to go down there as people who don't live there, who don't know how things run, to try to provide you're coming there with good intentions, but people are just desperate. So I don't know. We'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, we'll have to play it by ear and see.
But if the opportunity arises, for sure. If the opportunity arises, I would be there in a heartbeat. We can, and I think some of the infrastructure would have to be kind of put back together for the first little bit, because where would you stay?
Well, I think we have to look at the time here.
Well, yeah, we're wrapping up.
We're just winding down here, guys.
We're winding down. This has been our first live back in a couple in a couple of weeks.
In a minute.
Well, in a little minute. But it was
great, fantastic. Kudos to my man Red's Room.
Yes, and
for bringing the tribe over to raid us. We
had some good discussion.
Guys.
Gary was here. Coach Mean Reed was here. Coach Fiona. We had some good discussion happening. Amazing. And it's a topic. It's going to be ongoing. We'll probably have another roundtable talk. I mean, sometimes we come here and we talk about fun things and we have a good time, but sometimes, we got to talk seriousness and we got to try and, put our collective thoughts together and try to figure out how best we can help the people who are in need. Red's room says, okay, I will tone it down. The milk bottle.
So don't forget, guys, make sure you tune in next week, Sunday at 4:30.
Yes.
Nino and Lo will be here again. We're going to kick it up a notch.
Are you working?
No, I'm here. Did I just say I'm here next?
Let's see.
Let me double check my.
See, you're telling me.
We got to double check our schedule here, guys. Let's double check my schedule. Yeah, I'm off next Sunday.
No, so. I'm not. But I'd have to. We're gonna have to do it, and then I run to work.
Yes, like we usually do. Next Sunday, 23rd, Nino and Lo.
Oh, Winston says I'm a first responder, so please connect with me.
Go.
Okay.
Hey,
and I'm an emergency room nurse, so we can definitely connect. You know, who knows? Maybe we'll do a link up and we'll all end up in Jamaica and do a little relief, because that relief, it's not going to stop anytime soon. So whether it happens today, tomorrow, or 6 months from now, they're going to be in need for a very long time. So yeah, this sounds like a plan. We have to
do what my buddy always say: every mickle make a muckle. Right? So every little bit you can do.
Every little bit helps. For all those people that don't understand that.
Please translate.
The Jamaican. I'm going to translate. That means every little bit helps.
There you go. Thank you, Lo.
Oh my God. Anyways, guys, it's been a slice.
It's been a slice. And I'm going to go back to say, Vibes Cartel recently was down in Jamaica, and it's got a Vibes Cartel foundation who's done very well in terms of distributing aid to the people down there. So I'm going to do this one for Vibes Cartel and say, what's under my nose?
I'm out. Gary says, good show. Love. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you. And I have to catch up on all of your content, and I have to take my dive back into YouTube and go and see what you've all been up to. All right. So bye for now, guys. Everybody.
Big up yourself, Reds. Big up yourself, Gary.
Yes.
Everybody, enough love.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys.